Okay, so we've got a little word problem today. A scuba diver is trying to reach the bottom of a lake to search for treasure. The bottom of the lake is modeled by the x-axis, and the path the scuba diver takes is modeled by the equation y equals x squared plus 2x plus 5, where x and y are measured in feet. Part A. What are the solutions to the equation 0 equals x squared plus 2x plus 5? And part B. Will the scuba diver reach the bottom of the lake? Why or why not? Okay, so what we can imagine is that we can, if we're thinking about this, what they're saying here, we've got the x-axis, here we've got the y-axis. I realize that it's a little bit um, lopsided, but then we've got this equation, and we know that it's a quadratic equation, so it's going to be some kind of parabola, and it's going to either go like this, or like this, or like this, or whatever. And it's saying it's modeling the path of the scuba diver as he's, kind of he or she is swimming down and then swimming back up, right? And the question is, the ultimate question is, will the scuba diver ever reach the bottom of the lake? Why or why not? Okay, so, and if we're gonna think about it, um, we're gonna, we've got this parabola. Let's just say that the top of the water is up here somewhere, right? And I'll change the color of the scuba diver, and the scuba diver is gonna dive in and go down for a while and then come back up again, right? And we know that the thing that's going to make the scuba diver reach the bottom of the lake is if his or her path touches the x-axis. So the question is this thing going to at some point cross the x-axis? That is really what this is asking, okay? So this first part, the part A, is just asking you to solve it, right? Well, we know how to do that. We're either going to solve by factoring, and let's see, two numbers that can add to 2 and multiply to 5. The only things that can multiply to 5 are 1 and 5, so that's not going to work because that's going to make 6x, right? So let's go ahead and use our trusty old quadratic formula, okay? So x is equal to negative b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. And in this case, a equals 1, b equals 2, and c equals 5. So let's go ahead and solve this. X equals negative 2 plus or minus the square root of 2 squared minus 4 times 1 times 5 all over 2 times 1. Okay, so we know that it equals negative 2 plus or minus the square root of 4 minus 20 all over 2, which is the same as negative 2 plus or minus the square root of negative 16 all over 2. All right, so we've got a little thing going on here. What happens when you try to take the square root of a negative number? Well, you're going to have to use I, okay? Well, we know that the square root of 16 is 4, so the square root of negative 16 is 4i. So negative 2 plus or minus the 4i over 2, and that's going to equal negative 2 over 2 is negative 1. Negative 1 plus or minus 4 over 2 is 2i. So our answer is negative 1 plus or minus 2i. Let's write that down. X equals negative 1 plus or minus 2i. And by the way, that's two answers there, negative 1 plus 2i and negative 1 minus 2i. So, will the scuba diver reach the bottom of the lake? Why or why not? Well, the answer is no. The scuba diver will not. Why or why not? Well, in this case, why not? The scuba diver will not reach the bottom of the lake because these solutions are imaginary. And what do we know about imaginary solutions? They don't cross the x-axis. They don't cross the x-axis. They don't even touch the x-axis. Okay? So that means that he or she will not reach the bottom.